Hi, everyone. Welcome to Kiki and Kibitz. It's Mary. Welcome on a Friday night. I have a special interview for you guys from 90 Day, before the 90 Days, season 6. Right, Riley?
Yes.
Welcome, Riley.
Hello, everyone.
Thank you so
Hello,
much for
everyone. Even the
joining.
ones that don't like me. Hi. How you doing?
We give them the pageant wave, right?
Yeah.
Even
Hey. How are
hey.
ya?
I've been waiting for you
I
for
know.
I've been wanting
Almost a
this
year. Almost a
almost a
year.
year.
Actually, a year. A year. Because we
Yes,
started conversing. Because it's been a year since it's been on. This would have been like this Sunday would have been the second episode.
it's been a year. Oh my
Yeah, it's been a
goodness,
year. Yeah, no, it's
time
crazy.
flies. So, my first question: it's been a year
hmm
since it aired.
hmm
When did you actually film this?
A year before that.
A year before that. So
Yeah.
there, because we talk about on my live with Kelly and Cynthia the
Mm.
turnaround times of,
Yeah.
of the episodes. So we're
Right.
watching something that's usually happening nine,
Yeah.
nine, ten
Yeah.
months a year ago.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so many things could change in a year from filming to when the
hmm
show actually airs.
Yes. Yes.
So
And so to give you some background, I don't even think you know this, Mary. We were supposed to be on season 5
okay,
of B90. We were supposed to be on season 5. COVID was in its like beginning stages, kind of
right, right,
like and like yeah, in the beginning stage because it was like September. Yeah. So we were supposed to be on season 5. They asked because they couldn't, they meaning production couldn't get a work visa to go into Vietnam.
okay,
So it was
okay.
asked of us, would we consider going meeting in another country? And
Oh,
I was like, Valen and I both agreed Canada because she was able to travel out of the country and get back into her country.
right,
She's a teacher, so she has the summer off, and I was like, well, okay, Canada, because it's like 5, 6 hours from it.
right,
Canada, the
exactly,
border.
right,
And we just couldn't coordinate
okay,
with them. And then they was like, okay, well, maybe next season. And then from what I understand, Ben and Mahogany replaced us.
mm,
That's why they
okay,
came in so late. That's why they
yes,
came in so late because we were supposed to be there and they were already in production. They were
right,
trying to, I think we were the last couple they were trying to, I think, I'm not sure,
right.
that they were trying to coordinate with, and it just didn't work out because of COVID. So when COVID was over, they reached back out, and at that time, like we've been through a lot. So if we would have went on season 5, I think we would have made it because I think I would have. I probably at that moment how I felt about her. We were brand new in the relationship. I was head over heels. I
Right,
would have accepted a lot of her nonsense.
right.
But a year later, after COVID, they come back, and I'm kind of like, I don't know if I want to do
So
this.
many things have
Yeah,
changed in a year,
yeah.
right?
And Lexi, who I am now dating, at the time, she's my friend,
Right.
and this is before she was my business partner, but we were friends.
Okay.
And she was like, "You have to do this. You have to do it. You have to get closure," because she was there for everything that went down with the
Now,
catching that live and stuff.
were you a reality TV fan before
Man,
doing this? Did you
no,
want? No.
not
Okay.
really. So let
Okay.
me tell you how I got put on to 90 Day Fiance. My ex, the one that picked up and left and then just didn't come back,
Right.
she was a big fan, big, huge fan. It's COVID. So what are we doing? We're sitting around and I'm
Watching
watching it
TV.
with her, you know,
Right.
and I'm like, this is crazy. Yeah, I remember Big Ed was the, and I thought, I, I was like, what is going
Which
on?
couples? Which couples were you watching?
I, I,
Which?
I remember, and I wasn't watching it religiously. Like I would catch
Right.
it when she's watching it.
You kind
I
of watch
remember,
it like my husband does. Yeah.
right. So the first episode I remember seeing and remember was Big Ed and what's her name? The girl, the
Rose.
Philippines,
Rose.
Rose, right?
Rose. Yes.
And they were sitting by a beach or something, and she made this face like, eh. I fell
Oh
out.
God. Yes. Oh
I was
God.
like, yo,
Yes.
this chick is hilarious. And then I caught parts here and there, but that's all I remember that moment. And yeah, so that's how I got introduced. That it's a show, right? I didn't
Right.
watch it. She watched it, and
Right.
whenever she was sitting there watching it, I'll partake. And
So
who else?
what made you decide in the beginning of your relationship with Violet that you were going to try to sign up for 90 Day Fiance and do this?
Um, so when I met Violet in the beginning, just like a lot of people, and I say it in the show, and I'm glad they kind of left it in, but they didn't
Right,
leave everything in. But
right,
like I had, so, oh, I almost said her name. My girlfriend at the time left to go back to Philly to check on her house, and then she just never came back.
right.
Then like 4 days after that, my dog died. I know this sounds like a country music song, but my dog died, and we're talking about
But
Khan.
it's
It's
but
the
it's
truth,
relatable. Trust me, it's
right?
relatable.
So Khan saved my life. I came home from deployment. I was
Right,
effed up. I didn't want to live, right? I didn't
right,
have any purpose anymore.
right.
And I'm losing friends or whatever. I'm depressed. And I get this dog, and this dog was the reason why I woke up. I had to walk him, I had to feed
The
him. And
dog gave you a purpose again.
right. And
Yeah.
whenever I was sad, the dog was there. And like I've been through a couple of breakups. That's another thing they did. Made it look like I only had two girlfriends my whole life. Anyway, and they all Asian. But anyway, um,
So that's
ridiculous.
one of the misconceptions we could clear up right now because that's one of my
Yeah.
questions. Do we have any misconceptions?
Right. Yeah.
Riley has dated more than two women. Okay.
Right. And they made it sound like I couldn't keep a relationship. So the last relationship before the one that she was Asian, that's true. She was Korean girl, but the before
Right.
that, black woman, I knew her from college. We were dating off and on from college. Life happened. She got married, had a baby, divorced, and all that. We
Right. Right.
reconnected, and we were talking marriage. Like we would sit here and we was like, "What do you want? What do I want?" And we were talking, and I was like, "Ready." We were ready,
Right. Right.
and she passed away. She
Oh,
passed
I'm so
away.
sorry. I'm so
So
sorry.
yeah, so her name was Laura. If people go to my Instagram, you go back a little bit, you'll see I
Right.
did a tribute to her. Black woman, uh,
Right.
American. Met her in college in Queens, New York.
Hmm.
You know,
Queens, New York. Yes.
right? And they cut it out. And my friend said the reason why they cut it out is because they couldn't have people feeling too sorry for them, right?
I could
That's
see that. Yeah,
yeah.
I
They
could
did.
see that.
It's like they cut out my family. Every
Yeah,
they
we
have a
didn't really
formula,
see your family.
right? They make it
Okay,
sound like it's
so
just. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, no, no. I just want to know. So, why did you decide to sign up for the show? Like,
Hmm.
what attract? So,
I know I'm going all over the place.
no, no,
I'm
go ahead.
sorry.
I'll keep. Don't worry. I got you,
um,
Riley. I
thank
got
you.
you.
Keep keep me
I
focused.
got
The
you.
ADHD. Um, was well, one of the reasons was I was idle, right? My mind and all that, and I was like
Okay.
finding things that were interesting, and I was like, it would be crazy if I go on this show and then she sees me on a show with another woman.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
I that is why I thought of the show. But
Right.
again, idle. I'm depressed, and when my mind is when I'm left alone with my own mind, it be very dangerous. For anybody that battles depression,
Oh,
uh,
yes.
left
Hmm.
alone with your own mind, and your own mind is your worst enemy. And
Yes. Yes.
anyone
It can
can
be.
say something negative about that, they are an inhuman person, right? Because depression is real, and especially in men, it's real, and we don't talk about it, even though that.
Riley,
Ooh,
I
damn
lost
it!
the picture. Yep.
I know. Even though this month is men's mental health awareness month, right?
Yes.
I'm going to get the camera back on. I'm
No,
sorry.
don't worry. No,
Um,
don't worry.
so
Riley, we have all night. I'm not going
yeah, that's
anywhere.
true. That's true. All right. So let me just
Go ahead,
let me
get the
go into the
camera.
settings and turn it
Hmm.
back on. All right. So even though
There you go.
we I was just depressed, and I was doing things that weren't the smartest moves, but
Right.
my mind was all over the place, and I was trying not to think about the thing that we know I was thinking about. I
Right.
lost the dog that would save my life, so I was like, oh, let me apply for this show. So I applied, and I say, hey, I've been dealing with this woman for a few months, and it's going well, and so on and so forth. And they emailed back, and I was like, oh,
And what did
okay.
Violet say when you told her about this?
When we first, Violet was all for it. She was like, yeah, that's the way they're going to get that. And I didn't know how the production worked. I was like, they'll pay for my ticket to go there. We could spend time, and if we want to do something. because I'm looking at it, and there's no way in the world that this person who works at, I'm not going to say
Right.
anything. I don't want people to think I'm talking down about, but there's no way in the world they could afford to go to Egypt for 4 weeks, like on that salary. And that's how I was
Right.
thinking.
Right.
Like, oh, they'll pay for it. We could spend time together. We could get to know each other, and you never know, man. That we might get engaged. That's how
Right.
the show
Right.
works. Because that's all
Right.
I knew from what I saw, right? And she was with it because she wanted to see me. I wanted to see her. It gave me purpose, right?
Right.
Everything I was doing was like, oh man, I'm speaking to her every day, multiple times a day. And, keep in mind, it's like 11, 12 hours time difference, depending on the time of year. If it's, daylight saving times, it could be 11 hours or 12 hours. And we're speaking multiple times a day. I'm meeting her class. She's in class during lunch and she's showing me her class and they waving at me. And yeah, that's why I did it. It was like idle hands are the devil's playground.
So then
And I
once you got the email and you
um
found out that they aren't going to be paying for your travel
hmm
and all the other things that you thought were might be true
hmm
weren't going to be true, why did you say, okay, let me go forward with this?
So in the beginning, before I really got any kind of contract or anything, it was just based on what was being told to me. They sell
Right.
you, they sell you good. They pitch you
Okay.
and they sell you good. That's their job. The
Of
casting
course.
process
Of
is
course.
long, but um,
That is a
so
casting director's job. Yes.
yeah, so I thought about it. It's a documentary, right? Like what's a great way to tell my story? A army guy going to Vietnam to find love, and he wasn't in the war, and he found his woman. You know what I mean? Like I thought it
Yeah.
was going to be
Right. Right.
a great story. At that time, we never really had any issues. We never really argued and all that. But then again, on the phone, we both were showing our representative. Let's keep it 100.
Right.
It
Right.
wasn't. But I was like, this would be a great story, and to tell for people to see that, like, look at this love. This guy
Right.
that was in the army and he was infantry at that. He was in the
Right.
army infantry. He everything he's learned in his military career has been based on the gentlemen and women that sacrificed themselves during Vietnam and
Right.
the Gulf
And
War.
he
And I'm
falls
like,
in love. Right. And he
right,
falls
and
in
he
love
then
with a
falls in
woman.
love with. That's what I thought it was going to
That's
be
a
a
real,
beautiful
I mean,
story.
yes, that would have been a beautiful story, but unfortunately with reality TV it doesn't always turn out the way it should.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
exactly. I
So
didn't know that.
how was, let's go back to the actual filming when you got to Vietnam and stuff. How was the filming experience overseas?
It was very difficult. One, it's freaking hot as
Okay.
heck over there. But when I first got there, Violet was disappearing. She wasn't staying around. So here's how they do it. They want you to film at least 12 hours a day, and
Yes.
each day of filming should yield 2 episodes. That's how
Okay.
how production is set up.
Okay.
And when I first got there, just to let y'all know, I met her for the first time like 8 times because they want you to do it again in this angle and that angle. And
And this is not
we
the first time I've heard this from a cast member of a Matt
yeah,
Sharp show. Love
right.
After Lockup cast members complain about this all the time. They're coming out of prison. There's a camera
Mhm,
in their face. Okay,
mhm.
let's do this again. Walk
Right,
towards us again, and walk towards
right,
us again. Yeah,
right. And then that's exactly how it was. And
right,
like I said, it's my first time with this stuff, for reality TV. So
right,
uh I said my little joke, like, hey, you got nice ass. You know what I mean? Like I knew the cameras were running. I was having a little fun with it.
right.
And we go to the hotel and she leaves. She leaves, right? And then they convinced her to come back. That's where
Okay.
the dinner scene. Remember, they need two
Yes,
episodes from
yes,
one day of filming.
right.
So we go to the dinner scene. I give her the rose. I mean the pearls that she hates.
Yes,
And I didn't know she didn't like them until because we don't see it until you guys see it.
right,
And then
right.
I was like, well, my mama said that pearls are beautiful, and the women hand them down to their daughters, and
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking. I'm a guy. I'm the guy that fix. I gotta change your brakes. That's me.
right,
I'll change the tire. I'll make sure gas and I'm that guy. I'll fix something. I'm not.
right,
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not the bring you home roses guy. I'm the guy that I'll cook for you because you're hungry. You
right.
know,
Yeah,
and I mean, we all have our love language, and that's just, so I don't know how to buy gifts like like trinkets and all that. I'll buy you a purse because you said I like I like Louis Vuitton, LVs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'll go and I'll go and buy you an LV because you said you
Yeah,
like
because
oh
you said
LV,
you
but
like
I'm not gonna
LV.
know if it's out of season or if you don't like the color and
Right,
oh,
exactly. Right.
how many
Okay,
cameras are
good
there? One, two,
question.
or three? Two. Yeah,
There's two
two.
cameras. Yeah.
Two cameras,
Okay.
and they give you retakes to have different angles. To get different angles. So it is two cameras. Like I never seen anybody go with three. It's usually two.
Okay. And nothing you seem, nothing you did seem to please her, Riley. I totally
So
agree with this statement.
right, but do you all? So this is what I Mary, check this out.
Okay.
This is what I realized. New Yorkers
Yes.
and people that have intelligence that understand that it's entertainment and you're just getting a guilty pleasure. Those are the people that understood where I was coming from, or
Right.
understood that it was more to it than what they were seeing, and
Right.
I've gotten
Yeah.
love from.
Yes.
It's the ones that like really think that this was real, like how I don't understand. Like
The
every
ones that
American,
I
go ahead.
call that take TV, entertainment TV way too seriously, and they forget about the entertainment part.
Right, they do. They think it's legit, and those are the ones that come and look for you on social media to say things, but it's not what you think. It's like think about it 12 hours a day in country. I'm talking about in country,
Right.
whenever you're in the country, 12
Right.
hours a day for 2 weeks, for 14 days. How many hours of filming is that? Think about how many hours of footage is that,
Right.
right? And then on the episode, you see 5, 10 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
Like, like you
Like
really think you're seeing
a
everything?
couple gets about, I don't know, 20 minutes airtime per episode. I mean, if
Yeah,
you're
if
lucky.
they're lucky.
If
Yeah,
you're lucky, it's 20 minutes of airtime.
yeah. And it's just
Most of the time, it's
crazy to
like
me.
10 minutes.
Right.
And I
Like
know
it's
how much you guys film and how much
right.
they leave on the cutting floor. I
Oh
know
yeah,
I know from Love After Lockup how much they leave on the cutting floor. It is like
yeah. It's ridiculous.
it's
Yo,
amazing.
when I tell you there was a whole dinner scene because they have the formula. It's like, oh, let's meet with the family, and the family goes, oh, you're crazy. Why is he doing this or why is she doing this? I don't know. Is something wrong? My family was so supportive, and my friends. It was my family and my friends because every year I do a seafood boil for my birthday, but because I wasn't going to be in the country that year during my birthday, I was like, I'm gonna do it earlier. And they said, Can we film it? I said, absolutely. So I had my little things out. I'm making the seafood. I'm frying fish and all that. They film it. We sit down to dinner with my family, and they were all supportive. Every single one of them. Even my best friend I do the podcast with, Chris. I was in the army with him.
Right.
We seen some stuff together. Like, and they cut all that out, and they cut out Lexi. They cut out my cousin, her husband, my other little cousin. It's crazy.
Because they wanted to portray you as the bad guy. Because it
Absolutely.
seems like in every couple, there's good cop, bad cop, right?
Right. Right.
And then sometimes the roles switch mid-season. Like you start
Yep.
off loving,
Yep.
one half of the couple, and
Uh huh.
then by mid-season you want to rip their head off, and the one that annoyed the fuck out of you
Right. Right.
is your favorite now. Yeah,
Right.
it happens all the time.
And that's when, well, Chris, he's like, he told me, and I just still didn't believe him because they were in my house and doing where I lived. It was
Right.
super sweet. He was like, he told me, he said, they're about to fuck you.
Mm.
I'm sorry for cursing, but
No,
but
you
that
can
was on his
say,
words.
who the
He
fuck are
was
you
like,
talking to?
they're about to give you the shaft, and I was like, nah, they're sweet. This producer, I'm not gonna say her name, but this
Right.
producer is sweet. This cameraman is dope. This sound guy, like, no, we cool. We breaking bread together, eating lunch and stuff together. He's like, no. He said, because what they were asking me in the OTF, that's what it's called on the fly. It's like after
Right.
the moment and you
Yeah.
sit there, you see them doing it. That's an OTF. He was like, the things that they were asking me to say, not asking me, asking me to say it this way. It's crazy, right? He's going all the way to Vietnam to see some woman that he only knows online. That's crazy, right? You think that's crazy, right? So say it this way. And he wouldn't do it. My cousin Tanya, she wouldn't do it. Lexi, they tried to say, yo, you like him, right? Just say how much you would date him and this and that. She's like, you're not gonna make me look thirsty on international television. And so they cut all that out.
Oh wow.
That's that car ride to the airport. I live, Mary, you're from New York, you know. I
Yes.
live in the Poconos.
Yes.
I flew in the middle of the day during the week. That drive from my house to the airport was over 3 hours long. To JFK was over 3 hours long.
Yeah.
My car ride, they only picked out. We had some deep conversations. She was being my friend, but they only picked out. You're doing what? Oh my God, you're this and that and this. Because they were on the phone. I had them
Of
on
course.
speakerphone, and they'd
Of
be like,
course.
"No, no, no. How about saying this, guys? Talk about this." So, I mean, it is. I like I said, I signed what I signed, and I had a plan. And just like Mike Tyson say, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. I got punched in the face
Yes.
hard.
But I want to ask you, and first,
Hmm.
I want to thank my new member. Thank you so much, Sherry, for joining my membership. Yay.
Yay, Sherry.
How was that motorcycle ride? That motorcycle scene was so fucking cool.
It was a beautiful moment. I still have the video of that. It was amazing, but do you want me to like really spill it to you? Like,
Yes, of
so,
course.
okay, so,
Come on, Riley. This is where you
okay,
spill the
all
tea.
right.
Hello.
So I wanted to go home. So the after the argument in the restaurant, if
Right.
people go back and watch, I'm sitting on the bed right now. I'm on my phone, looking on my phone. I'm looking for flights as I'm talking to them. I'm like, fuck this. I'm not staying here.
Like, I'm the fuck
This shit
out
is
of here.
this is crazy. This woman is disappearing. It's some other dude from Italy here seeing her, and y'all like. I'm like, I don't have to deal with this. This is ridiculous. So I'm looking for flights while I'm on the phone, and I was told that yeah, if you leave, you're breaching the contract, and we're going to sue you, and because you're impeding production. So I know what my job told me. They was like, yeah, you could do this. Just make sure this shit don't come back. Don't come back to us. Like, and I was like, well, I guess I'm staying here. I was like, I'm not going to see her though. And she got to apologize for her. They was like, okay, we got to get something. so they, so the guy on the guy with the motorcycle,
Uh huh.
he was actually part of the crew. So they
Oh,
made it look like
really?
I just hired somebody
Oh my
to
God,
go on
I'm
this
dead.
tour on a motorcycle
Uh huh.
in Vietnam on the back of him, like riding bitch on the back of a motorcycle with this dude. I ride motorcycles. There ain't no way. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna play your game.
I'm dead.
I was like, I'm on the back of this motorcycle. It's dope. It's really dope.
Right.
But
I mean, it
thing
looked
is, like,
fucking beautiful,
it was, but
but
it's
it was a
already
crew member, and then you were
right.
asking him for advice. That was the best
I'm gonna
fucking
explain
part.
that to you. So
Okay, let me
I'm
hear
on the back of
this.
this motorcycle. I'm on the back of this motorcycle.
Uh
It's a
huh.
crew member. We're still friends. Me and that crew member is still friends. He's a dope. He's a good dude. But and I already did the tour and all that. You know, I got there. I was like, fuck that. I'm going on this. I'm going to see this and see that. I already did a motorcycle tour. You know, so we get to the end of the scenery of us driving around, and then the producer goes, ask me to go upstairs and have a cigar with you. Because I told them I wanted to go and have a cigar, and I gave them a couple of places. It's like, but the fixer, that was the only place that she could get approval for. So
Okay.
she's like, ask him up for a cigar. I was like, why? Like, if I just hired this guy to give me a tour, you know, why would I ask this strange dude, hey man, be my friend, come on, let's have a cigar together. So I'm like, all right, let's do this thing so we can get it over with. I want to go home. I want to go home. I want to go back to my room. I want to
Right.
go home.
Right.
Whatever, to get y'all out of my face, let's do it. We get up there, and then he starts saying, like, you're wrong. You know, here in Vietnam, women are this and this and this. And I'm just looking at him. I'm like, Tommy, what the fuck are you saying to me, bro? Like, and I was just like, I see in the back, like on the corner of my eye, the producer looking at Tommy going, and I'm like, I'm not getting out of this shit. Yeah, really? Damn, I'm wrong. I was like, I'm not getting out of it. I'm just seeing they
Yeah,
playing. And I'm like,
exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
not getting, I'm not gonna get out of this shit. All right, let me just play this game so I could get back to the room because it's hot. I'm upset. I just want a cigar and I want to go back to the room. So we do the scene, and I'm wrong. I'm gonna make an apology because I was like, all right. They bought her the flowers and all that. They kind of cut that down. They made me buy yellow flowers. I was like, I'm not spending no more money. Right? They was like, oh, buy these nice yellow flowers. Then I found out in Vietnam, yellow flowers means death. And I'm like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Like,
They set you the fuck up,
like, oh,
Riley.
you
Oh
set
my
me the fuck
God.
up.
Oh
right?
my God.
And and so what's crazy is like right after that, the girl, the young lady, and I'm still cool with her. She brought us, the cigars and everything.
Right.
She came up after it was finished. She said, "I listened to everything. He's wrong. It's not like that. It's her. It's something wrong with her. Don't believe that. Don't believe it's something wrong with you. It's her." So I'm still cool with her and the guy that owns the spot. Kohei, that's his name.
Right.
I'm still cool with all three of them. Tommy was just doing what he got to do to make that money. But
Exactly. Tommy's just,
yeah, so
making his
that's that
bag.
motorcycle moment. Like I'm some pathetic dude in another country.
Oh my
Like,
God.
bro, I am good. Like I will find something to do. I'll hire a tour guide and go to the tunnels, and I
Yeah,
don't need
how meaningful was this trip to you? As a veteran, how
it.
meaningful?
It was very so when we were speaking about filming, I told them there's only two things I really want to do. I want to go to the War Museum, and I want to go to Backdang River.
Okay.
So I said those are the two things because I studied, I'm an infantry guy and I studied the war. I was infatuated with it. Honestly, I was infatuated. So Vietnam was a bucket list trip for me anyway, not from women, just
Right.
for the fact that I'm just
Just in
so
general.
the
Right.
the the military importance of the place and that war and how horrible it was, and they made that happen. She disappeared. She goes with me. She sits me down and does her little scene about you didn't bring my mom any gifts. And I'm like, you told me I didn't have to. I asked you, and you said you don't know. Just don't bring her anything. It's okay. And I was like, okay, I see what's going on. So let's talk about this old and ugly stuff. So you see that she left right after that. I didn't get to tour the museum. They put that all made it to the cutting room floor because it didn't make sense to show it. I'll be honest. But
Right.
I did stay there for like 2 hours and I watched it's a couple of video presentations. They have like mini documentary movies. I watched those. I was there for a while, but it was very important that I got to see the museum for me. And
Right.
the Bac Dang River, I had a hotel across from the Bac Dang River at a
Right.
hotel. So I got to see it every day and I got to walk it. Like if you go into my videos
Mm-hmm.
on on Instagram, I put up a video of me walking along the river because it was
I
a
remember
very
that.
important,
Yeah.
it was a very important thing. So that was important. Like I said, I studied Vietnam as a person in the military that did tactics, and I studied Vietnam. I was infatuated with Vietnam as a kid, younger person, because I saw Casualties of War with Michael J. Fox and Sean Penn, and it was
Okay.
based on a
Yes.
true story. So I was
Yes.
infatuated with that, and yeah, the trip was very important to me. All the other stuff was just extra, but those two places I really wanted to see because all
Right.
my research and people don't realize that Ho Chi Minh City is Saigon. That is
Right.
Saigon.
Yes.
So that's where all the soldiers were, and you could see little things if you go in like these little alleys. You could see where soldiers wrote their names from
Wow.
the war. It's still there.
Wow. That's so
That's
cool.
so. I was just like,
Oh my
wow,
God.
man, this is amazing. Like the history that's there. So anyway, I really suggest Americans that if you could find a way,
Mm-hmm.
travel, travel, see other countries. I'm not saying go for women or men. Just go,
Just
just go to
travel.
see another culture and another
Right.
country and some other history.
Right.
So anyway, sorry, I
No, no,
rambled.
no, no. Wait, wait. We have a question. Did you visit the John McCain statue?
No, because it's certain places that the cameras weren't allowed
Oh,
and they weren't allowed to show. So one of the things they weren't allowed to show was the statue of Ho Chi Minh, like that statue honoring him.
right,
They weren't allowed to show that, and it was certain other places. So whenever there was because the Vietnam flag flies next to the Russian flag flies next to the Vietnam flag,
right.
Vietnamese flag. People don't know that. So wherever it was a military presence or there was a Russian flag flying next to it, we weren't allowed to film.
Right.
So I didn't. Jesus, crazy. I wasn't allowed to. I wasn't allowed to. We weren't allowed to go there. So I wish I could have.
Right.
But there was like that. Wow, this thing is really crazy. But
It's
that thing, that the like the War Museum, it was like it's a joint thing, that War Museum. Like
right.
it's not just what you call it. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, man.
Don't worry. I'll
I
wait.
gotta I gotta but you can hear me at least.
Yeah, I can
I
hear
don't know
you.
what's going on with my. I'm using the Osmo for this
Mm.
for the webcam because I found out about DJI and Osmo.
Yeah.
This is the dopest thing ever. People don't know. Osmo, if you got $700, buy this. This thing is it's like sitting down the camera in your hand, you know. So,
Yes.
but yeah, it was very interesting, but it was just certain places I could not go, and uh, and it still won't come on. Oh, this sucks. This really sucks. I'm gonna cry.
Don't.
I'm gonna cry.
You may have to go out and come back in, maybe.
Oh no, no, no.
No, no.
It might be coming back now. It might be coming back. Hold
Okay.
on. It's
Everybody,
not
please
coming back, but you can
hold.
hear me.
Please hold.
All right,
Oh,
there we go.
he's
Ow,
back.
ow.
He's back.
See?
He's back.
Yeah, I just gotta straighten this out.
Yeah, no, go ahead. Go ahead. Set yourself
Just
up.
turn it around. It's just now Mila wanna come and hang out with me when I turn it back
Oh,
around.
hello there.
Hi, sweetie baby. How you
Okay.
doing?
We are going to ask the question that the fans want to know.
Yeah, go
That
ahead.
that pregnancy storyline, Riley.
Oh,
Talk to us.
okay. So if she was pregnant, it wasn't mine. I don't believe she was pregnant, but if she was pregnant, it wasn't mine.
How
I
many
can
men do
go
you believe she was seeing besides you?
at least one other because I know about that guy from Italy. I know about him. And you want to
Okay,
hear something crazy about that?
let's
It
hear
wasn't
this.
me that found out about it. It was my job.
Oh,
It was my
wow.
job. Yeah. So this is to explain, and I'm gonna go into it with the pregnancy. This is to explain why I was thinking about hiring a PI. I work for a particular organization within the government, right?
Hmm.
With the government, when you have a secret clearance, the last thing you want is for them to find something out about somebody you're associated with that you didn't know.
Hmm.
So it was because I caught her in so many lies.
Right,
I was like, let me do my due diligence because I don't want them to find out. So when I did my security review to get permission to do the show, I
right,
had to give them a copy of her passport. I had to give like her ID, her address, all this information to them. So I
right,
knew they were going to do a background check. And I said, you know what? Let me hire someone. So if anything is out there, I'll get it back and I could say, hey, this is I found this, and then they would probably say to me, yeah, we were. So when I'm in country, they emailed me while I was in country and said, who's this gentleman?
oh,
Well, he's
wow.
there visiting her. I told production, and they did not. They didn't do anything about it. They just let it go away. So yeah, so her pregnancy. So the first 2 or 3 days I was there, she was disappearing. She wasn't staying the whole day with me or with production.
Right.
And then all of a sudden she had all the time in the world. So one of the lies she told, and people believed it, is that, well, I can't spend tomorrow with him because I have work obligations. She's a teacher and she's off in the summer. Why in Sam Hell would I fly 8,000 miles to Vietnam while this woman has to work? Let's go even deeper. Why in Sam Hell, if she knew for 6, 7 months that I was showing up, what? Come on.
Why does
They
she
made
have
it
to work? I
right.
know.
So why would I do that? I wouldn't disrespect her career. Like, come on.
Exactly.
So so yeah, that so I knew when he left because that's when she started having more time to spend with me. She wasn't disappearing, staying with us for 3, 4 hours to film, maybe 5 hours to film, then she'll disappear. And then I'll see her the next day. It started being the whole day.
Right,
And that's when I knew he left.
right.
So and I have those receipts. I think Maddie's is gonna release that because I gave it to him, and I gave it to Duke of New Orleans a long time ago. I tried to give it to another blogger, and they didn't run with it, and I was
I'll
like, all
take
right,
them. I'll take them.
I got
You
other
know,
stuff for you, man. I got
take
stuff.
it. You, Riley. Give me whatever you want, and
I'll give you when she told me she was losing the baby. The
Okay.
I'll give you that when she was like taking pictures of herself in the hospital and all that in the hospital bed. I'm
Okay.
losing the baby, and then I found out that she had a tummy tuck that same day.
Wow.
So she was using it. as a
Right.
look, I'm in the hospital, I'm losing the baby. Oh my God. Right. And I'm like, then I sent her, and I'll send it to you. I sent her the pictures from her tummy tuck because that imbecile decided to post it on Facebook. She thought I couldn't see it because she blocked me. But the my boy, she didn't know him. He
Right.
saw it and he sent it to me. He's like, "Yo, bro, this woman had a straight up tummy tuck when she said she was in the hospital losing the baby." So I sent it to her and I was like, "Yeah, explain this. It's my friend." I said, "Violet, I've been dealing with you for 2 years. I know what your bedroom looks like, bro.
That's
Like, I know what your those are pictures in your bedroom. No, my friend was embarrassed to post them. Violet, stop lying. Like it was so yeah. So I'll send them to you. I'll send you that
okay.
whole text train chain,
Sounds good
and
to
I'm just like,
me.
it's crazy. It's
Okay.
crazy.
We have another question. Was the man that you saw in her messages shirtless?
Yep. Yep. Mhm. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So she goes, it's none of my business. It's this, it's that. She got caught, and oh, by the way, it didn't happen that way. It wasn't when we got out the shop. That was we had to reenact that. I
Oh,
caught her at lunch. We were at lunch, and I'm sitting next to her, and we're talking, and her phone goes off. She picks it up because she's one of those people to put her phone down, up, like
right,
so you can't see the screen. Picks
right.
it up, and I see the text message with the guy with no shirt on, and I'm not saying that that's his what you call it, like his what they call that, avatar. It
Right.
was a picture he was
It's an
sending,
actual picture. Right.
and I was just like, who's that? None of your business. Puts her phone down and she stops talking to me like, I'm just want to eat. And I'm like, bro. And so the only reason production knew is because I was so aggravated because you got to understand it was like day after day of something. So first she's disappearing, right?
Right.
She's disappearing. Second, she says what she says in the shop, which is true. That's real time. It was true. It happened like that. It was a little longer because I was just like, I can't believe it. Like you would do that to me. And I had a little talk with her. And she was like, ignoring me, like throwing and that aggravated me a little. And it hurt. It was disrespectful. And then that shirt shit. And I'm just like, I'm sick of this shit. So nobody asks, like if you go back and she goes, I said, you lie. Cause that was the thing, you lie. Right.
Right.
And she was like, I don't lie. I say, oh yeah, what about last year with the US Embassy stuff? Nobody ever asked me about that. I got the haters like, who do you think he is? And this and that. And he just met her. No, I didn't. I was with her for 2 years, people. No. No.
2 years, people. 2 years.
Yeah, like come on, man. Let's get it together. I mean, I'm not saying I was perfect, Mary Croft, from it. I wish I would have handled myself differently with a few things,
That was
you know.
actually going to be my next question. No, no.
Yeah.
First, I want to ask you, when was the last time you spoke with Violet?
When she visited America to see her brother, another thing, people think she was a scammer for money. Violet has money. Violet family has money, money. You got to understand, Violet had that big ass house. She owned it, and there's no such thing as like a mortgage out there. Her
Okay.
family owned that building. So that's
Right.
one.
Okay.
Two, her brother is an engineer, aerospace engineer, and and I don't know if people understand how hard it is, how exceptional you have to be to get a work visa to come here and to work for a company. You got to be on the top. Her
Right.
brother is like, so when she came here, she asked if she could see me, and I was
Okay.
being nice. I was being nice. On the show, on the tell all, they tried to make it look like I invited her here. I was like, no, I didn't. Oh no 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 no. That's why I did that video and put it on TikTok. No, they throwing me under the bus, y'all. There's no little windows or doors open. She's coming here to visit her brother. Tiffany wanted to hang out with her. They coordinated that. That's on them. The show wanted whatever they wanted. That's not me. I don't have nothing to
Hmm.
do with that. But she asked, and I was
I'm
like,
not
well,
touching
okay,
that with a stick. Am I touching that with a stick? Right.
right. I'm no, I'm not. I don't want nothing to do with her. Right at that point, I'm like, bro, it's a wrap. Like, let's let it go. And she wanted to visit, and I was being nice, and I was like, I don't hate you. We do have a history. So she came and visit, and I took her to JFK.
Right.
She stayed 1 day here. She stayed the night in my guest room. People don't believe me, but it wasn't with me because I'm not like that. I'm not desperate like that. Trust. She stayed in the guest room. I didn't even take off work. My cousin hung out with her during the day. I wouldn't
Okay.
take off work. I was like, I'm
Okay.
not taking off work.
Okay.
And I took her to the airport to JFK,
Right.
and that was the last time I saw her.
Oh,
That was like last summer, last
last
like
summer.
August or
Okay.
something like that. That was the last time. Yeah, it was like August. That was the last time I saw her. Haven't spoken to her since. I have no interest in speaking to her, and that's
Okay.
it.
So now, which leads me to ask you, if you could change about how you handle things during your relationship
Hmm.
with Violet, what would you change?
I would change. And this is just me after I'm seeing myself on TV. I didn't realize how intimidating I could be
Okay.
when I'm upset. And
Okay.
Kelly said it. We're New Yorkers. We speak with passion, but it
It's
sounds
true
like we're
though.
yelling.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
it's
always sound
true.
like we're yelling. And
Yeah,
imagine me. I'm
yeah,
Italian from New York. Italians are fucking
right,
loud as it is. Come
right, right.
on.
So, I wish if I could change anything, it was like how I handle the adversity that we would have. Like even if I caught her in a lie,
Right.
I wish I would have handled it with a little bit more decorum, you know, and not as
Maybe a little
loud.
calmer.
Right,
Right.
calmer, because
Right.
you're talking about a person that doesn't understand our culture also, right? So whatever they got from us Americans is that we're violent and we're this and we're that. And so
From the
if she
movies,
right.
basically.
So
Right.
she never dealt with a black man before, and she gets sees me get upset, and I'm saying it could be very intimidating. And I wish I would have handled myself better with that. But with when cameras were there and when they weren't, I really regret it. Like, if people were following me, I was apologizing for that dinner scene like 2 weeks before because I knew it was coming, and I was like, man, I'm so sorry. I'm embarrassed. I wish I didn't respond to her that way. It doesn't matter what she did that
Right.
people didn't see. It was my
Right.
reaction, and I wish I would have never did it. And I have to take accountability for that because everything happens for a reason. So even though she was a horrible liar and she made these decisions on her own, I don't believe I helped the situation because it's obvious something in me that made her feel like she had to do that you
Right.
know. So I have to take responsibility for that. And if I could change that, that'd be the main thing I would change is just how I approach when somebody upsets me or hurts me or whatever, how I approach it. She made it virtually impossible to so Riley. It was rude and dismissive. It definitely was zero, so zero, zero. Um, but like I said, the context was left out a lot of things. So people think it was just like people thought it was about talking to Tiffany because they were saying I ambushed her, and you know what? I did not, but I did. So
Okay.
like I didn't want to make the phone call, and I said it to the production. I said I don't want to make this phone call here. I said, can we go back to the hotel and make this phone call, please? Because I'm tired of having arguments with her in the public, and I'm a black man, right? Black American man.
Yeah.
And then
Yes.
the other side was I know Tiffany and I know Violet. And I was like, this shit is not going to go well. I was
You're
like,
like,
this
this
is
is
not
not
going to
gonna
go
go
well.
well.
So if y'all go back, I got up, right? And I leave.
Right.
And then
Right.
mysteriously, I was just back. That
Yeah.
was, that is the meddling part. That was production going, no, you got to sit here. You got to sit here. Blah, 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 blah. You got to sit here. And I'm just like, I don't want to. Because
You're like,
I know where it's about
uh-uh.
to go. I don't agree with this. I don't want
I
to.
will be
And
anywhere but
right,
here. Uh-uh.
right. But
I'll
they
be at
made
the
me sit down.
bar.
And then me, like people, when I said your family can ask me the hard questions, like because she was saying, "Oh, you're
Right.
not defending me. You're not a real man." She was saying these things to me loud in the restaurant. And
Right.
bro, I still have the video. It's no sound because it's iPhone. I have the video. It was 13 minutes of her and Violet, Tiffany and Violet going back and forth for one question.
Oh wow.
13 minutes, right?
Oh wow.
And and so when she started really being disrespectful and saying some wild shit, I'm like, and then she was doing this because I hate this, and they cut that out because she's a teacher of children, and she would
Yes.
do this to me,
Yes.
and I was like, don't wave your finger in my face, I'm a grown ass man. And so when I'm doing it to her, it's because I'm responding to her doing it, but they don't show her doing it to me. They
No,
just
of
show
course
me
not.
doing this,
Of course.
right?
Of
And then
course.
and then and I was like, well, your family can ask me some real hard questions, and I answered them, but But someone I consider family asks you one question, you can't answer. It's not even a hard question, you can't answer it because
Right.
her mother asked me some real fucked up shit during the dinner scene, and they cut it out. And the reason why they cut it out is because I wouldn't play the race card. Because it was like, well, you think her mother is racist? And I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm not saying that. This woman is 78 years old, never been out of this country. The last
Exactly.
black American man she saw was during the war, right? And the
Yes.
only thing she gets is on from TV because they get American TV, but they get crime drama. They
Oh.
get all our crime dramas. I was like,
Oh.
I am not doing that. We're not doing that. This woman is an older woman. This is all she knows. So she asked the question about me killing her daughter when I get upset because American blacks kill people, kill their
Yeah.
wives. And I was
Right.
just like, I'm not gonna. So when I was upset when she was saying all these things to me and then waving a finger in my face, y'all, nobody saw that like her mother was asking me some wild ass shit, and that's why I said what I said. So that's where I have a problem with Sharp. That's where I have a problem. It's like have it balanced. You can show both. I argued with her. I did. I could have handled
Yes.
myself better, but show why I got upset. Show why what she was doing to me every day. It was something. She was just beating me down every day, and I would retaliate by getting loud and arguing with her.
Right.
Like it was crazy. And they wouldn't show that. They just made me look like some insecure, controlling, wild ass. Like, why is he sticking up his middle finger? You have it on a thumbnail. What? That
Yes.
middle finger? I didn't come up with that shit. A grown ass man.
I know. I know.
I don't come up. You know what? Because I wouldn't say it to her. And this is after I caught her in the embassy lie. I wouldn't say it to her. So, and then I have trauma with the word, because
Right.
the first time is when my mother, I said that she was dying from ovarian cancer. And I went to the
Right.
hospital to see her. And I said, I love you, Ma, when I left her. And then the next day when I went to visit her, I found her dead. So that fucked with me.
Right.
I'm a young
Right.
dude, that fucked with me. And then after that, it was a couple of friends and family members that I would say things to, and they died, right? Not on the spot, like I love you.
Right.
Ah, no, I'm talking
Right.
about
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
but I'm an infantry guy, I'm an army guy, and we're very superstitious. And I was like, I'm never saying it to people I care about anymore, right? And she was like, well, you won't say it. So in Vietnam, like when we say I hate you, it means I love you.
Okay.
So she said, you won't say it, but I'll say this to you. And I
Us.
was like, okay, so that means I
And
love you,
this is
huh?
how this was
Right. And
born.
that's how I came about. Not
Right.
me. She came up with it. And they
Right.
don't show that. They don't
Of
show
course not.
why I don't understand is that you had all the red flags about Violet. You caught her in multiple lies. She was harassing your father, yeah, my family, and you still went to meet her. Okay, boom. I'm gonna explain that. All right, one,
Good
I was
question.
it was an amazing question. I was in love. We are dumb when we're in love. Dumb. I was dumb. The second part is that if you see it on TV, we signed the contract, we have to fulfill the contract. Like I said, I already knew about the text messages to my father. What I
Right.
didn't know is how many, and I didn't know that she was actually calling this man who couldn't talk because he had COPD, COVID, almost died. I didn't know that part until after it aired because then he had a heart to heart with no cameras around. He was like, "Yeah, I didn't want to tell you because I know blah blah blah," and I know
Hmm.
why she did it because I caught her in the lie and broke up with her, and she was just hurt and she wanted to destroy me or whatever she wanted to do,
Right.
um, make me look like I'm crazy. So I loved her and I really wanted. I was hoping that we could get past it, like we could just understand each other, but we're not going to understand each other over the phone, over a video chat.
Right.
So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go there. You can't hang up the phone on me and not answer my questions if I'm in your face. You
Exactly.
cannot deal with it. I have to deal with whatever issues you have with me. And that's why I went because I was in love. And it's like people are looking outside looking in. It's easy to say that, but people sit here. I mean, a lot of people don't realize that think about your life and the decisions you made for someone that you loved. It doesn't matter if it was an intimate relationship or not, or somebody that you really cared about and you learned a lesson because they shitted on you,
Yeah.
you
Very
know? So I
true
went,
that.
yeah. So I went because I was in love. I thought we could work it out. I thought we could find a way to be together, and it just wasn't meant to be. It wasn't God's will.
So now, once the show aired,
Hmm.
how was the social media feedback?
It was horrible. It was horrible. Um, I stopped watching the show. I stopped because I was just getting so upset. I stopped watching the show. So this is how I knew what aired.
Right.
The next day when I wake up, the messages I received.
Oh
I was like,
shit.
okay, I guess that shit aired, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I would go to work, and we have spoken right after meetings. I would have to go into the security review office, and then they would talk about what went on the night before. I had to explain myself,
Oh
and
gosh.
then I would come home, and then I had no peace because I had to hide her. And nobody knew I was with Lexi. We were beginning in our relationship.
Right.
I was
Right.
with Lexi, and then she's not dealing with it right? Because I'm
Right.
hiding her, and she's seeing all this attacks on the person that she loved, that knows that she's been there from the beginning, right? She
Right.
knows the truth, and she can't say anything because she signed her part of the contract, even though they cut her out, she
Right.
signed what she signed, and she couldn't say anything for a year, right? So it was horrible. Like I was in a dark place. I mean, I really wanted to unalive myself. I had a plan. Or like it was bad, and you really do know, and people don't know, is because we did speak a lot, especially last summer, because you were like one of the few people that I trusted, bloggers that I trusted, and I was in a dark place, and I really wanted to not be here anymore. I was like, what is the point? People hate me. It's not like that. Sharp Entertainment is making me look like a piece of shit, and they don't care.
But
I'm
people
reaching
didn't
out to them.
hate you. See, that's what when I hear cast members, like good cast members, say that they receive so much hate, I'm like, I can't, because personally, like
Mm.
my followers, they don't hate you. They think that Violet's a bitch and she's
Right,
rude, and
right,
the way that she treated you was horrible. You know what I mean?
right,
Like, so,
right.
like this
So when you go and
hardcore
check your
hate.
mail, and you got
Yeah,
and you got threatening mail at your home, you get
yes,
I've gotten letters. I've those class members that have received packages, and I reached out. I reach out to Sharp and be like, hey, listen, I need help. Like this is too much. They don't give you any mental health support. They don't give you any support on how to navigate the hate online and everything. They do not give you
really.
anything. And the only time they would call me because I asked them for a letter for my job. I was like, can you please give me a letter so they can know it's not really like that? It's part of the entertainment show.
Right.
They would not respond to me, nothing. The only
Get
time they
out of
would,
here.
yeah, it was bad. So the only time they would call is when I would go on a live and rant and break the NDA.
Of course. You
That's
can't
when they
break
would
the
call,
NDA.
right? And that's the crazy part. And this is where I say it's predatory because the way that the contract is written is one sided. It's all for them. The cast member has no control, right? And then it's $1,000 per episode, right? Anyway, so it is written in a way that $1,000 per episode. It's crazy. I make that in a day and a half. Anyway,
That's what.
yeah, but I signed what I signed. I signed what I
That was going
signed.
to be my next question. But go
I
ahead.
signed what I
Okay,
signed.
so it,
So they like it's just there was no support. There was nothing, right? And then the only time you get back to me is when I do something that you don't like. And the way that it is written is that a lot of cast members that bitch and moan and say it's not like that, we can defend ourselves with proof, with the
right,
proof and everything, like legit proof, where it's
right.
not disputable, but we can't because it goes against the NDA. And they write it in a way so that you can't spill the tea. You're not supposed to give timelines. When did you film? Like, bro, I have been out. Like, the only reason I saw her during, like, after the show is because the show came on. Because I didn't speak to her for a year,
Yeah,
right? So the show is back on, and now we're communicating because of the show. Because we got to make it look a certain way.
right.
You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Like, oh, we can't
Exactly.
let them know. But then when she does shit like defend me against people because of that gift stuff with her mother, right?
Right.
She did a post and defended me, saying,
Yes, I
"Yeah, it's
remember
me.
that.
I did tell you this. Now I'm sorry they're attacking you." Fucking Sharp contacts her and tells her to take it down, and I'm just like,
I remember that. I remember that post going up and disappearing. I remember
yeah.
that.
And
Yeah.
it's like it's so fucking unfair. Like it's doing too much. And that's where I have a problem with them. And they don't seem to they don't care, and I get it. They don't have to care. We sign what we sign. I get it. We have to take a accountability for that, and I do. You know, I signed it. I gave them the power. I argued on camera. I gave them the power to use that stuff. But there
Yeah.
should be a balance. This shit is not making sense. You're making all these millions of dollars, and I don't get my fair cut. So you showing me like a piece of shit, and I got to try to go to work, and I'm about to lose my career with real money, and I cannot. I really don't like them. Like they pissed off the wrong person because
I don't
I'm
blame
like
you.
okay, I'm gonna put it this way, and I'm talking to whoever is listening. I am like Scott with dignity. No, I don't want to say that word. I'm like Scott with professionalism, connections,
Okay.
and I follow through. It
And
might not be
do
today.
not
It might not
stand in
be
his way.
tomorrow.
Don't try to stand in his way,
I
because
have connections. I work for some very powerful people that were very pissed off, and I embarrassed them. I
yeah.
embarrassed who I work for. They're very pissed off, and then they're starting to see a little bit different. They're seeing things a little bit different. The more cast members are coming out, sort of
Right.
current are coming out, and they're starting to see things a little bit differently. I'm still on the kind of like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
naughty list, but
Right.
they're listening a little more, and I'm just waiting to hear back. There's two senators that want to speak to me next week in D.C. about this. And they don't understand, like, I'm not a nobody.
Right.
So you need to concentrate on people that really don't have much, that really don't have much, and this is the best thing that ever happened to them in their life, because you can't cast people like me. We're
What
not the ones.
changes do you think should be put in place? Like, do you think there should be like a disclaimer
Yes,
before a show? Like,
yeah. Mm. So three things. These are the three things. I think there should be a disclaimer in the beginning of the show and at the end of the show, saying
okay.
that it's basically it's semi-scripted or whatever. The real couples, but we'll change the edit or whatever to
And
support
it's
the storyline.
entertainment
Right.
purposes only.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and entertainment
emphasize
purposes
that a
on.
hundred
Right,
thousand
right.
times. Yeah.
Like don't sit here and come after these people like everything you see is real. That's one. Two, there should be a like any job you get, any new job, they have onboarding and they have orientation, right? And or orientation. There
Right.
should be an orientation, meaning get past cast members that are in good standing with the production company and have them as a mentor to help guide them through. I wrote a new cast member coming up on the other way
Right.
reached out to me. A
Yeah.
cast member reached out to me and asked me for advice, and I kept it 100 with them. I was like, bro, I don't have any advice. The only thing I'm gonna say is that they're gonna say don't read the comments and whatever the hate. I was like, bro, you're a human being with a good heart. You're gonna read them and they're gonna hurt. I was like, understand that they don't care about you. Don't ever think that they care about you. Understand that you signed what you signed. You just got to do the best you have with it. Whatever plan you have, stick to your plan. It's going to be hard, but you have to stick to your plan because nobody goes on this show just because I just want to show my love. No,
Right.
we all have a reason for going on the show. Mine was like, oh, you know what? If Violet and I could make it, we could have a good head start on our family business. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
so
There you
I
go.
mean, I'm being honest, right? I
Right.
got cast members as much as I think they're decent people, but they hit me up. Hey man, first thing you need to do is get a cameo. Here's use my code and this and that, and don't pay attention to the haters, bro. That's some bullshit. Stop sugarcoating this shit. Be 100 with cast members. Like yo, this shit is fucked up.
Yes.
It's fucked up. Motherfuckers are not gonna support you. They're gonna get mad if you talk about timeline. Be 100. Stop with this sugarcoating the BS. So
Yeah.
so that's one. So just get a mentorship program going on where people, give like an orientation video. Listen, this is how it is, and you can have cast members narrate or whatever. This is how it is. Don't
Right.
think it's like this. You're gonna get hurt and da 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 da. But and then the third thing is provide. I'm talking about first season cast members. I'm not talking about because that's ridiculous because it is a business and I got to be respectful of that.
Right.
First season cast members, people that never been involved in this shit before, provide someone on staff that they could talk to, a professional that could speak to them,
Okay.
that they can reach out to. And it's not going to hit your bottom line hard because you're already only paying $1,000 an episode, right? And y'all don't pay for the trips and shit.
Right.
So,
Right.
um,
Expenses,
right,
gifts,
right.
nothing,
So,
nothing.
so, so, Make it so that if they have a professional, not the bullshit y'all fucking do at the tell-all. After the tell-all, you have somebody you have a psychiatrist come up and say, "Do you need to talk to us?" And then I said no. I said no. And then they say, "Can you film yourself?" They put up a camera in your face, film it saying no. I go, "No, this is a good idea, but you need to make it more broad and help people through their season." I'm only talking about first season cast members because if you come back, you already know how shit is and you riding with it. You know what I mean? So about first season because we don't know we're regular people. June 7th, I was a regular dude. The only thing you know about me is what they put on the website and the trailer. June 8th, I'm known. I still got to go to work. I still got
Yeah.
to answer to somebody. So I'm no, this shit is crazy. And then the contract is written so that even after the contract, they still could sue you for shit.
Yeah, I know.
Section 12, section 12, subparagraphs A and B.
Yeah.
You think I don't read this shit?
And
Anyway.
so, okay, so you appeared on B90. Did they renew you for Pillow Talk, or is that a separate, like,
No. So they so in the contract, and I'll say it. Come after me if you need to. They can option you for up to 5 more years. So the first year, and then they can do it 5 more years. So they'll own you for 6 years. They can own you for 6 years if you're
wow,
playing, I guess, nice in the sandbox the way they want you to do, like you're on the plantation, you're a little slave, right? Little coon. That's what you want. So they they um they do that.
okay,
They can option you. So after we filmed that first year, like the day before the contract was over, they sent me an email saying we're optioning you. It still hasn't aired yet, right?
right,
So I'm like, oh, that's great, yo. We could do something else, I could get, maybe I get popular, we get like business or whatever it is, and then so they could do it up to 6 years. So 6 years in total, meaning they could do it 5 times. They
right,
have the option. You don't have the option to turn it down. They have the option. So that's one. Pillow Talk is a whole separate um, contract. That's why I haven't spoken about it because I'm still under the Pillow Talk contract until
right,
January, and I can't speak on it. I'm also
right.
talking about B90 because my B90 contract is over.
And
So it's
like
two
Kibby
separate.
says, it explains why some people are on season after season
Yeah, because they option you
because
when
they
you're
could
playing nice
option
in the
you. Yep.
yeah, and you're playing nice in the sandbox, and then you do it. I just had a conversation with a cast member late, like early this morning, like 2 o'clock in the morning. I had a conversation with a cast member, and I was just like, "You're like, I love them, but I'm just like, you're a disappointment. Like you see what they're doing, and you keep coming back. And you're not saying no. You're not, putting your foot down and making certain demands that are reasonable. Don't be unreasonable because it's a business, and they have to run a business. They have to make the money, but
Of course.
you keep saying yes to them and you don't say no and you think that you're going to gain something from it and it's sad, like it breaks my heart because it's like, yo, you like this celebrity shit, you must really like it, and it's
A
horrible
bunch of
because
attention whores, Riley. I can
right,
tell you from a blogger's
but I love
perspective.
this person. I love them to death, man. But it just broke my heart the way they were responding to me because I
Yeah,
didn't bring it up. I brought up
yeah.
something else because we made a bet, and I was like, they was like, yeah, they're gonna come and ask you to do something. They're gonna option you. I said, no, they're not. I bet you $1, right? So we made two $1 bets. Trading places, the $1, making a
Huh?
bet on somebody's life.
Yes,
Rich
yes,
people,
yes.
$1. And I called that person in on my two. I said I want my $2, and then they started speaking about certain things. Is there a pay raise for each season at 5%? 5%.
Okay.
So unless you're just lucky enough they want to give you your own show, it's 5%. And that's another thing I would want to change is that give them a starting salary that's reasonable because these people have a regular, hey Vicky, these people have regular lives, right? And this is not enough to sustain them. Sometimes some people this is the most they ever made, and I get it. I
Right.
can't tell somebody they can't feed their family. I might not like it, but I can't tell somebody they can't feed their family, they can't follow their dreams. Who the hell am I to do that? But
Mm-hmm.
you this shit'll never change because it's fucked up, but it's working for you. It'll never change unless we all band together. So if they option you for a year, does that start time over again? Yes, it does.
Oh
So
boy.
this is why I wasn't optioned. One, because I got a big mouth, and two, because I have I have turned out. They asked me to do Single Life a few times. They asked me to
Oh,
do like at least 3-4 times. They asked me to do Single Life, and I said no.
okay.
They asked me to do Pillow Talk a few times, And besides the one I did with Kim, because I thought it was going to be a cool thing, because I love Jamal, and I was like, oh, it'd be cool to pillow talk his thing. That's the only reason I did it. But and it's good money. Don't get me wrong; it's way better than season money.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
I was like, no, and they couldn't comprehend. Like, oh, you're saying no to this? I'm like, yeah, because I don't want to fuck with you because you're not going to give me what I want and what I need to be comfortable and for it to make sense for me. If I do any other show, Pillow Talk was one thing, but if I do any other relationship show with them, I know for a fact my employer, they're gonna let me go. It's no way around it. They're not gonna tolerate it for another season. They're gonna let me go. So I need this shit to make sense, right? I need it
Right.
to make sense. I make a lot of money doing what I do, and I'm very good at what I do. You need to pay me what I make a month doing my regular because I'm gonna have to leave that job to do your thing. And it's still not even a dent in your bottom line. You just don't want to. And so that's why I think. So one of it is like, well, he keeps saying no to us. He's not going to do anything we want. So why are we keeping him around? And then also they know how I felt, and it was like, well, if we
Right.
just don't option him, he's getting what he wants. He wants out of it. He'll just fade away and stop and be quiet. I was like, nope. The moment you released me, it didn't matter. Even if they optioned me, I would have been doing it because I had every intention. I was like, yo, I'm gonna break this shit because you're gonna have to change this shit. It's no reason for it. I mean, that's your business plan, and it was a good run. It
Right.
was a good run,
Exactly.
TLC and Sharp. Stop.
The
Like it's coming
train
to the
came
end.
to the station. I got off of it. Stop.
Yeah, it was a good run. Change the way you're doing things because somebody is going to really follow through what I was thinking about doing, and they're gonna in their manifesto they're gonna say because of Sharp and TLC, and y'all are not going to be able to rebound from that shit. I'm telling you, especially in this day and age where people are aware of mental health issues and social
Yes.
and
Social
how
media
corporations,
bullying.
yeah,
Yes.
bullying and how corporations are making millions of dollars and regular people are losing out. It's not. I'm not saying that like it's a show, right? Pay us reasonably, and
Hmm.
make the contract balanced. I mean, it has to be in your favor because you're the employer. I get that, but make it balanced.
Right.
Tell the story in a balanced way, or because there's some cast members that are just assholes. We know that, and that's
Yes, we know that.
who you see on online. I mean, on TV is exactly how they are online. I get that.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not talking
Yeah.
about those people. I'm talking about people like myself who, for the most part, we're decent human beings and we contribute
Right.
and we give back to the community and this and that. And you're ruining our reputation while you make millions and millions of dollars and you don't fucking care. And then you're dumbfounded. You look at me like I got a dick in the middle of my head when you ask me to do something else, and I'm looking at you like, no, why? What's in it for me? $1,500 because it's a
Exactly. Because it's a five
five
hundred
percent
dollars.
increment?
Please.
Get out of here! No, no.
So let's talk about what you're doing now. You have a
Uh,
cigar lounge that you're working
yeah, yeah.
on, and
So yeah, we're doing renovations. I was just there before I came here. I canceled my haircut because the electrician was like, somebody took a sporting beans down. I was like, no, so I had to run over there. So yeah, it was something I was doing before the show. My cousin passed away. We were doing it together, and he passed away, and I couldn't do it anymore. That's where I lost all my savings and all that. But then that endeavor. So I'm starting it again. Lexi is my partner. We finally got a place. Unfortunately, we couldn't buy the building, but we could be renting for now until we could find a building to buy. We're doing renovations. Ruben, amazing man, came in here on his own
your
because
buddy
I got
Ruben.
yeah, I got a couple of cast members that reached out to me and said, "Hey, man, if any help I could give you, man, come on." And I was like, "Thank you." And I was just like, "That's a nice, polite thing to say." I was like, "Nobody's gonna come out here and help me do this shit."
Ruben
Ruben got on.
actually now.
He did, and it was right after I had my procedure on my back, and I couldn't do anything. Yeah, they think we're rich celebrities. We're not. Yeah, I be trash talking. That's spam right there. Yeah, they really think we're balling and we pulling it. No. Mm-mm.
You guys
So,
are not making housewives money. The
oh no,
housewives be
oh they
balling.
make money, and
They make dough.
and we were beating them in our season, and they make more money than us.
Oh
So
yes, they
that's
make
all I'm gonna say.
tons of money. Oh, but that's a whole nother
So
story. Okay, so we're
anyway,
talking about
so yeah,
cigars and your
yeah.
lounge, and
So
yes,
he came out and he helped Reno because I couldn't really walk and do anything. And he's amazing. He was amazing. He did a lot. and then he flew home. I got video. We gave him a day spa pass
Right.
that he, as a gift, as a thank you. And I just didn't edit the video to put it up for people to see. But he was an amazing person. So now we're doing electrical in there, and we're building out the walls and the humidor. And then next is the ceiling. I mean, well, next is the HVAC for exhaust and all that, and then the ceiling, and then the floors. And hopefully we can have something going on by July. By my
Cool.
birthday in July. So yeah, that's my endeavor. It's in the Poconos. So, once it launches, I'll let everybody know, and you have to come down
Cool.
to the grand opening.
I'll take a
And from what
chance.
I understand, a lot of a lot of cast members are supporting me, and they're saying they would come for the grand opening. So that would be nice if they do,
That's so
you know.
cool.
So it'll be a fun time. But
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing, man. That's it. I'm setting it up because I'm gonna have to resign soon because this is not gonna play out in my favor. I already know. I was like, yo, it's time to resign. No, not
Right.
resign. It's time to
Right.
retire. Retire,
Retire.
not resign. It's
Retire.
time to retire. I'm tired anyway, and it just, maybe this was a push for me to do these things that I needed to do.
That
So
was my next question. What's in the 5-year plan for you? So I guess retirement,
yeah,
the
retirement,
cigar lounge.
cigar lounge. My goal is to build up in this area of the Poconos. I want to open up a drive-in movie theater. I want to bring that kind of nostalgic stuff back. I want to
Right.
I mean, it's a lot. It's what's real crazy. The main thing, because I do films, right? Like I went to film school and stuff, and I've done a couple of films. And one of my main things is so crazy is that I want to have a production company, right, and create television shows and movies and all that. I just don't
Right.
want to be a dickhead predator, unfeeling good human while I'm doing it. But that's why I kind of understand the business aspect with Shaw, and I don't like to support them and to defend them, but I have to. It's a business,
Right.
and and I get it.
And you
So
get it. Yeah.
yeah, I
Everybody has
get
to
it,
make a bag. Yeah.
but
But
I get to complain about how I'm treated. Like anybody else that got a job that was shitty,
right.
and their bosses
Hmm.
were shitty, you have the right to complain about your boss after you leave. So I'm kind of technically still with them, and
Right.
they could probably get me for breach, but I think I have something on them for breach for my season, because they did something that was not in the contract and that didn't. And I don't. The lawyer told me not to say much, but
I
they
know.
think
I
it's
know.
a
I'm
breach.
like, hmm.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it's a breach,
Interesting.
and I think that technically, I am not. My contract was then over since last year because they breached this part of the contract. So,
Right.
and so I'm. We'll see how that plays out, but I'm not one of those cast members that want to sue them. I'm not suing them. Why? I signed it. I have no right to
Exactly. You
sue them.
signed it.
I
You
signed it. I
signed
have
it.
no right to sue them. Like the cast members that go and sue them, I think that they ill-informed. They just hurt and pissed off. But you signed it.
Right.
But if you want to get them on something, get them on fraud or whatever, because they said it's a docu-series. That shit is not a docu-series. That's misrepresentation. And
It
you know,
scripted entertainment TV.
yeah, yeah. Like
Pretty much,
this
right?
shit is not a docu-series because if it was, you would see the good and bad and the ugly from both sides. You know.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, Riley, before we wrap this up, do you have a final message for the fans?
Um. Yeah. Just please start thinking critically, man, and start thinking like not sitting here saying that we don't have to have any responsibility for what we sign, what we do on camera. I'm not saying that. But don't be so quick that you hate the cast members so much that no matter what they say, you just don't care. Advocacy starts somewhere. It starts from something happening that people didn't like, and that's how laws are made, and that's how laws are made to make protect people and all that. That's how labor laws were made. That's how child safety laws were made. Because something horrible happened, and there was nothing saying that you can't do that. And we have these cast members that are really struggling. There's some people that are really, really struggling. There's one Statler, she's done. She's like letting tea out before her season even started, and that should tell you something.
Right.
That should tell you something. Like if that person is like, you know what, I'm willing to risk everything because this is wrong. Um, just kind of like set aside how you feel about them personally. Think critically and just listen to what they're saying. Don't just. There's a lot of people that want to comment against the cast member that is coming out like me, like I am, just because they don't like the person. They're not listening to anything. You cannot like the person, but if they're doing something that's bigger than them. This is bigger than me. I don't gain anything financially from this. I'm not suing them. I don't want to sue them. I don't think I have a right to sue Sharp because I signed what I signed. I am not looking for any compensation. I have said it that anybody that want to do an interview with me so we can discuss this, I will do it. I'm not charging for interviews like a lot of people do. I just want this to get out because I want something changed because I don't want
You want them to
anybody in the
be more
future.
responsible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want anybody in the future to go through what I went through. 'Cause I was in a really dark place. And honestly, if it wasn't for the fact that they told me at the tell all I could, you know, it's not the same. I could, that's my time to tell my story, even though they still edit out a lot of shit. Um,
Yes.
that's the only thing that brought me out of it because I was like, finally, I get to say something and people to know that I'm not that crazy person that they keep portraying me. And that's the only thing that brought me out of it because I had a plan and everything. So just kind of, you ain't got to like the cast member. I get it, but kind of just listen to what they're saying and what they're trying to do. They're trying to, like a lot of us are trying to advocate for change. I'm not talking about the ones that bitch and moan and just whatever. I'm talking about the ones that are trying to advocate for change. And if you go to my Instagram and my stories right now, there's a petition to have it so that they put a notice at the beginning and end of each episode saying that they manipulate the story and it's all for entertainment and so on and so forth.
Right.
So you guys will go there, you can see it, and I would like you to sign it because we need to start evoking change because there's a way to have it balanced where Sharp and TLC are making their money, but the cast members are supported, they're getting a fair share, and they're getting the support that they
And it's
need.
not going to hurt their bottom line. So
It's not.
just
It's
do
not.
it. Riley,
Not.
tell everybody where they can find you on Instagram.
Up it's just underscore Riley, JUS underscore Riley. That's Instagram, and then on TikTok, if you want to follow me, I be going live here, y'all. I'll be having some real good live. Just underscore Riley underscore, and y'all can follow me there. And eventually I'll give the YouTube and all that out. And those are the two main platforms right now.
Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank
I've
you
been
for
waiting
having
for
me.
this interview
I
for,
know, I know. Thank
so
you. Thank you
something
so much.
marked off on my bucket list. Thank you so much,
Yeah. All
everybody,
right.
for
All right.
joining me tonight. And we'll see you guys next time. Thanks,
Yep.
Riley. Have a good night. Have a great
Okay. Good
weekend.
night. You too.
Okay.
You too.
All right. Bye
Good
bye.
night.
Good night.
Bye.